It's here. This is Sony XAV AX6050, their first ever wireless CarPlay unit. This is the first one in the UK. Sony don't make decisions like this very quickly. So what we're going to do, we're going to get it unboxed. I'm going to show you, tell you all about it. Then we're going to fit it in this car behind us. God, I'm excited. XAV unboxing. Try and keep it brief. Sony units are always relatively simple, so you shouldn't have an awful lot going on in here. Books, things, packed in there pretty neatly. Fly lead RCA, that's the first thing I've noticed. The 5650 has standard solid state RCA connections on the back. Camera out, front, rear and sub. Standard ISO, parking brake, mic, that's not changed from the previous models. Now things that have changed, GPS antenna. It's GPS antenna with this for sort of range extension, and USB-C, okay. So I don't think there's going to be any standard USB on this, it's just going to be USB-C cable. I'm pretty sure this has a rapid charging feature as well. That's good to see. Quite new age stuff. Keys, if you use it in its cage, we don't often put them in their cage. A lot of cars they go into, they just have a fixed bracket. So that's all your standard stuff. That's that out of the way. And then this is the unit. Relatively heavy. First thing you'll notice is how shallow that mounting depth is. This is a third more shallow, less deep than the 5650. I'm sure this is going to aid you in sort of installation. It'll certainly help when it comes to a packed sort of dash when you've got a lot of looms to keep behind the unit itself. It's going to give you an extra inch or so of space there. So looking at the back of the unit, things that we're not used to seeing with Sony, like I say, the fly lead RCA input, the GPS antenna, the DAB antenna's changed, it's now bolted in, it doesn't feel like it's going to come off. Your mic input, your aerial, this doesn't look like the typical Sony sort of rear end, and it's heavy as well. It's got a big old heatsink on the back. But yeah, mini HDMI or micro HDMI there as well, so used for sort of webcasting or take HDMI into the unit. That's capacitive touchscreen, just up to 7 inches, so like 6.75 front screen. Buttons are all new. They're not soft touch, so they are like still a mechanical connection, but they're all black as well, so it's not got a silver fascia on it. Quite a neat looking unit that. You've got this black sort of bleed edge around the outside, and then you've got the standard trim. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is like. This is meant to be an anti-glare capacitive touchscreen, so you should be able to see it from all angles. It looks and feels slightly satin. It feels less glass-like than the 5650. They've done that from a visual element, so like I say, the sort of anti-glare nature of it. I don't know how that sort of that science works, but yeah, pretty cool to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this works. It's got all sorts of things like time alignment. Like I say, it's USB-C, it's wireless CarPlay. I want to see what it sounds like with wireless CarPlay, and then I want to see what it sounds wired. I'm looking forward to see if there's any sort of GUI changes, how quick it can process commands that you give it, things like that. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get it fitted. This is XAV A3 behind us. Like I say, this is the first one in the UK. We've got a great relationship with Sony. We put the XAV on our site so I could use it as a backlink when we shot this video as a promotion for the XAV. Heather obviously noticed it going on the site and bought the unit, so we're going to put this into her car so I can tell you more about the stuff that I don't know about this unit currently. They're quite sneaky when it comes to releasing a new product. They don't give next to any information They're all, if they do, they're all NDA'd up, so we can't tell you about them anyway. Very much my first experience with this deck, so let's go. Time to take the car apart. So we've got an A3 with Bose. I've removed the radio already. What happens with the most Bose cars, to be fair, or should I say Audi Bose cars, is they're a low level in. So they're like we would have an aftermarket radio with an aftermarket amplifier. It's the same signal, it's just a proprietary plug. So you end up with these sort of small pin plugs rather than RCA connectors. What happens is you get a loom. So this is the Sony part of the loom. This is the aftermarket part of the loom that integrates to the car. And as you can see, these RCA connectors go into the quad lock, into here, and they feed signal to the amplifier through these pins on this bottom left hand side. You can see here that this is blank. This is blank because there's no speaker cables going to any speakers in the car here. We're not running any of the speakers with the head unit amplifier, we're running it with the Bose amplifier. Okay, so that explains that part of the loom. There's a steering wheel control loom. You have to connect the remote before you connect it to the car. Sometimes it fails if you don't have it connected, probably to do with grounding and it just being able to tell what it's doing. We've got our USB-C, which I've put in the center console. I've put a short section there so she can run a Thunderbolt to Lightning cable to, you know, for a phone or whatever. It probably won't get used a lot of the time because it's a wireless unit. So, but it does offer fast charging. GPS, which is for CarPlay, so for linking between the phone and the unit. It's suggested that you keep the GPS antenna connected. We've got our antenna cables here, and we're going to fit a DAB splitter. I'm going to do that now so that we don't have a we basically use the OEM aerial as a DAB conversion aerial, and then this plug isn't used for anything else. Okay, that'll be sort of connections around the car that are to do with the original radio. So let's get the DAB antenna in. This radio, of course, is already out. That's down here, and that's all of its connections there. Took the CDs and the SD cards out because they're behind the motorized screen, and of course once you've disconnected the radio you can't get them out. So let's go ahead and fit the DAB splitter. So, okay, now we're on with the in, really. This unit should just push fit into that hole and use these grippers to hold it in behind these two plastic bars. See how well it works. I couldn't use the flush fit one. The flush fit one required an extra cage, which was small print at the bottom of the ad. So cheers then. First fire up. So if we just go out and try and get some sound. we have it. It's the first 6050 that's ever been installed. Definitely in the UK, but possibly worldwide. The unit, it's faster than the 6050, smoother, sort of slicker to use. Sorry, the 5650, the one before this, which is still a current unit. This doesn't replace it, it just adds another layer, which is that sort of wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. There's all sorts of different sound menus in there. You see me running through the menu system. If you're familiar with the 5650, it's different to that. There's more control there now, so you can, from a, you know, if you're running a simple system with just a head unit and speakers, you can now get a lot more control, full time alignment, things like that. Setup for the CarPlay was immediate. I plugged it in with the USB-C cable. I probably didn't have to, but I plugged it in with the USB-C cable and it just prompted me. You could probably get that handshake via Bluetooth or whatever, you know. So yeah, lovely bit of kit. Now sits at the top of our tree. You know that we like a Sony. It's fast, reliable, and it sounds wicked. And this one's the first one. So yeah, cheers to Hev for coming through, and yeah, cheers for Sony for sending us the first unit. This was my one. Enjoy.